Hi everybody, Lisa Schwartz here, and we are speaking about experts today. So we have a stormwater project manager here. We also have our streets department crew that are here, experts in helping out the city. And I want to tell you about how you can also be a part of that team. So we're standing right over an inlet here. Now this is a storm sewer inlet, and now you may have heard about us speaking about this in the past about keeping it clear, pet waste, grass clippings, leaves, but I have the expert Maureen here, our stormwater project manager, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the stormwater. So Maureen, we all know that grass or leaves or ice can block these inlets, but why do I care?
Well, honestly, we should all care. So whatever goes down this storm inlet ends up in our lakes, our rivers, our creeks and wetlands, and if we send things down here that shouldn't be there, like pollution, high fertilizers, different things that really shouldn't be in an aquatic environment, that's where it ends up. It doesn't get treated first. It ends up going right out to the Rock River and related resources.
And it actually changes the chemical composition out there, doesn't it? So like, this is science, okay? So what do? I'm out on a run, I see a bunch of stuff in the drain, and do I pick it all up and put it back in the yard to decompose, or what should I do?
Yeah, if it's like, the storm inlet right outside your house, whether you're a part of our Adopt a Drain program or not, if you're comfortable taking, excess leaves or excess grass clippings off and just putting it like on the grass right behind the curb, that's great. Those things are going to decompose, and that's where we want those nutrients to go, is right back into your grass and into the soil. If you see something else like, there's paint on the inlet, or if there's some kind of oil or something, kind of leaking down the curb line and getting into the inlet, just give the engineering department a call and we follow up on those, because really nothing else should be going down those storm drains except for rain and snowmelt, with a couple exceptions.
So if you see some kind of a blockage or a problem with the drain draining appropriately, you can call the engineering department at 262-4060. That's 920-262-4060, and we can keep that water flowing. So you had mentioned Adopt a Drain, but there's another program coming up on the 17th of September, right?
Yes, there is. So we have a lot of programs going on in the city to try to encourage folks to help us take care of the storm sewer system and our water resources. So on Saturday, September 17th, we're going to have a stream cleanup at Riverside Park. It'll be in the morning, and it's looking at the shorelines along the Rock River, as well as Riverside Park Creek.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit more stormwater science here as we walk this way. Maureen does a lot of outreach with our community and to try to educate individuals and just how we can preserve our resources that we have going on here. And again, we've spoken in past videos about some of the areas around town that perhaps we can't use anymore for public or private use. And we do have a spot right here on Jones Street. So why don't you go ahead and swing over this way. Okay. And so, again, in the past videos we talked about how we take that space that can no longer be used and convert it into something else. If you've been with the City of Watertown for some time, you know that there were two houses on the other side, we're on Jones Street, other side of City Hall, that were no longer able to be used for public or private use. The fire department utilized those for training purposes, and now they're being reclaimed again for extended parking for the City of Watertown. So we have our great street department back here. They're doing a lot of work. We're glad to focus on them a little bit. You'll also see that they've been working over by Oak Hill Cemetery. They put up a great retaining wall over there. We'll talk a little bit about bricks over here. The retaining wall, it's a great help for us. Our team has been able to build that. Not every municipality has teams that can help with some things like our permeable paving that we have going on here, but we do in the City of Watertown. Now, Maureen, tell me about some of the features of this parking lot that are important to stormwater.
Sure. So in this parking lot, we're going to have additional parking, but we're going to have permeable pavers running down either side of the parking, and that's going to handle stormwater runoff from the parking lot. It allows the stormwater to flow on top of the pavers and soak in between the pavers down to the different layers of gravel that are down below, and then into the under drain. The under drain is hooked up to the existing storm sewer system, so that basically filters out any pollutants from the stormwater, before it gets down to our storm sewer system that then discharges back at the Rock River.
Okay, Lisa, why don't you come on in? Let's take a look at this. Be careful for the steps there. So the street crew has went ahead and they put in the forms and everything for our permeable pavers. What is this area right here with the dirt?
So we're going to end up with 2 biofilters. And a biofilter is another stormwater treatment device. What this is going to do is allow stormwater runoff to go into this kind of garden area, but it's going to soak into the engineered soil. And the engineered soil is really a specific mix of sand and compost that allows the soil to be porous enough for the water to flow through quickly, but fine enough so that it captures all the pollutants that are in stormwater runoff so that it doesn't end up in the river. So it soaks in the biofilter, it's going to go down through the engineered soil, through the different layers of gravel, again into the underdrain system that then hooks up to the storm sewer, and then it goes back out to the Rock River from there.
So those pollutants stay here, not in the river.
Absolutely.
What will this look like once it's done? Will it be paved or will it have grass? Or
So the biofilter is going to end up being kind of like a garden. We have native plants ordered and they're supposed to be delivered at the end of September, and they'll be planted ideally the first week in October, so keep your fingers crossed for some good weather. By that point, we should have an asphalt parking lot. We're going to have our permeable pavers all installed. Our street department is knowledgeable and they have the expertise to do this, which is awesome. We have the concrete hopefully being poured this Friday around the permeable pavers. So again, keep your fingers crossed that everything's working for us weather-wise and everything.
Okay, so I have a question. It's great, we're in the summertime, we have our permeable pavers. What happens to those pavers in the wintertime?
So the permeable pavers are actually being installed on top of a 1.5 to 2 inch size of gravel, and we're using something that is got some angles to it because it ends up kind of compacting and kind of fitting together like a puzzle piece basically, as opposed to using a round stone, which allows the pavers to move more. So this is so that there's void spaces in the cracks between the stone, and then the water can soak down in between. That is designed on purpose so that we don't have so much heave, we don't have so much movement of the bricks. Like any other brick structure, there could be some bricks moving around. So during winter, ideally we'll either sweep that off or use a kind of plastic soft edge shovel as opposed to a metal edge shovel. And then when the snow starts to melt, then it kind of soaks down during the day in the hot sun being 30 degrees in January, but it starts to soak down in between the cracks, and then it's not present on top of the surface to refreeze again at night.
Nice. So Maureen has actually gone out to our Lincoln STEM school and she said they had great stormwater knowledge out there. Anything you'd like to share? What should our community members know in regards to stormwater? What can they do to help us out?
Well, we could have the kids from the STEM school over at Lincoln just teach us all because they were very knowledgeable on stormwater runoff, which is awesome. Really, if you see any kind of problems, you see any kind of clogging, if you see water not draining down an inlet, please let us know. Call the engineering department, like Lisa said. Otherwise, on your own home site, if you can pick up the pet waste and make sure the leaves and grass clippings are not in the street, that helps reduce the amount of pollution going out the rivers, as well as helps reduce the clogging down in the system underground. So it's all kind of a hand in hand trying to work together.
So I wanted to highlight our experts here. If you are an expert, if you want to know more about our expert openings that we have, always go to the careers page in City of Watertown. You'll see our most recent openings listed there. If you have any questions about any of those openings, give us a call and we'll help you out there too. Thank you everybody, and you take care.